What is up, guys? How's it going? Ryan here, back with you again for the next episode of This Week in Hearthstone. Welcome, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. We actually don't have too many articles this week, but they actually are some pretty impactful articles. So we're going with quality, I guess, in a way, instead of quantity, even though every week I try to scour the internet for every single article that is around. So it's not like we skip any articles if they aren't good Hearthstone articles. We try to get most of them or whatever, as we try to or whatever. Yeah, but kind of starting off the podcast on kind of more of a somber note, unfortunately. Hearthstone, which is pretty much, in my personal opinion, a pretty big player within the Hearthstone community. It is a website. If you guys don't know, it's also what we use a lot for this podcast as well to get articles, and we always credit them in stuff as well. I believe it's like Hearthstone is pretty good for like community articles. I mostly use it because it has an RSS feed and it is able to snag a bunch of articles from there as well. Hearthstone Top Deck is another pretty big site. I believe they are independent as well, and they kind of you can post your own decks there as well, and I think that was like second biggest. And then of course there's HS Replay, which doesn't have any articles per se, but they keep tabs about the meta. Obviously they have Hearthstone Deck Tracker, which is a pretty big overlay and following as well. But Hearthstone seems to be closing its doors. This was actually announced 3 days ago. The site is shutting down. If you guys don't know, Hearthstone is owned by Curse, which Curse got bought out from a site called Fandom, and according to leaks and internal talks and stuff that's been posted on Reddit, Fandom wants to close Hearthstone down and move everyone to their Gamepedia site, which is hearthstone.gamepedia.com, I believe. But yeah, they said March 23rd, 2013 is a date that will be hard to forget. 6 years ago, they were brought on by the Hearthstone community manager for Hearthstone. Part of the job entailed keeping everyone up to date with articles. Hearthstone will be closing its doors June 28th, 2019, 2,257 days after our journey began. So in about a month, the site will be closing down. It's on this day you will no longer be able to add new content on the site. They said they've been through a lot together, fan creations and all that type of good stuff. And they asked, what their favorite thing was or whatever. I guess like an update to add from the article itself that was added is, someone said who works for Hearthstone, the answer to the inevitable question of why is complex but deserves our response. Our owners, Fandom, have expanded onto other projects, launching such epic endeavors as D&D Beyond. As these have taken off, the development team has shifted focus and simply does not have the time and resources for us that we require. They can simply no longer justify the development, infrastructure, and maintenance cost of the site compared to their other projects. So that is something that that is the official reason why they're closing down. Hearthstone is something that I'll always remember very well. HS Replay is something that's fairly new, that's come out in the last 2 to 3 years. But for a long time here, Hearthstone was actually a site that I used when it came to finding, community-made decks, which aren't meta decks, just like people's decks I found were fun. It was a way that I found Tavern Brawl decks as well, which were, really, really useful in my opinion. They also had a lot of their articles just like right smack dab on the front of the page. They had an RSS feed so that we could actually pull articles from as well for this podcast to talk about. And it's been around for a very long time, even just using the forums, even though I didn't really use the forums that often, but just to get like an 80 gold quest here and there was also like pretty useful and something that I really, really liked. Now, that being said, even though Hearthstone is going away and stuff like that, and unfortunately is going to be ending. There is actually a pretty exciting news that comes out from I guess that has come out from all of this or whatever. So Flux Flashor, which is the community manager for Hearthstone, you can follow him on Twitter at the same handle or as well as Twitch. He's actually come out with a new site that we will probably be moving on to by June 28th as well, but it is called Out of Cards. It's out, O-U-T of .cards is the website, and this is a website that was personally made by him, but a lot of volunteers from Hearthstone are going to be moving over to this site as well to help out and give their time and all that good stuff. So it's definitely something that I will be looking into or whatever, and that we will be keeping tabs on as well. I really personally like the website so far. One of the exciting things that they said as well is they won't just be covering Hearthstone, but eventually they will be covering things such as Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. If you do make a profile there, they'll be, later on you'll be able to filter out decks and stuff like that as well. There's places for pro decks, there's places for decks that are community made, etc. And of course, there are forums and stuff like that that you'll be able to utilize and use as well. So far, they've come out with consistently like an article about a day, and it's articles that I really like, just mostly news articles and stuff that I find just really useful and really interesting as well. And this will probably be something that we utilize and stuff like that as well, and is actually going to be one of the articles that we're going to be talking about later is actually from there. So if you guys are looking for new sites for kind of information, I would definitely go check them out. As always, outof.cards is the website that you can go and check out. If you guys are looking for meta decks or anything like that, or just decks to kind of copy paste, I still use hsreplay.net or whatever for all that type of stuff, because they do have linkage between like Hearthstone deck tracker and stuff. So if you're looking for meta decks or like kind of decks that you want to use, you can go and check out that website as well. But moving on to better news, the new Brawl is out. This is super random, but the 207th Brawl is now out. It is called Brawl Spectacular. I don't know why they're making such a big deal on the 207th Brawl. I think it's more of like, I don't know, they skipped 7 brawls for some reason. I'm not really sure like why that's the case or whatever, but either way, it's out. But this week's brawl is much like the 100th brawl. Choose a brawl, get a random class and deck to go along with it, and then you fight another player. Both players are likely not playing the same brawl, so you choose a brawl out of 9 brawls instead of a hero. Instead of having one brawl type and then choosing one of 9 heroes, you choose a brawl. There's a ton of them that we won't really go hardcore into, whatever. But you can play a minion, get a random spell, start the game with Dorothy, shoot against charge on the left, taunt on the right, play a minion to complete your quest, get an awesome treasure. Every minion you play will generate 1/1 clone. Summoned minions have death rattle, summoned minion costs 2 less. All of your minions become crushed into a single power entity. Your deck is made of random minions. Each turn, your card costs are randomized, and your spell summon a random minion of the same cost. So it's pretty cool. You choose one, and then basically that brawl becomes like your passive hero. You're given a random deck that at the time of the brawl was released will give you a deck that corresponds with it, and then you battle your opponent, which might have a different brawl passive. Obviously, it's pretty cool. I really like the idea, and I find it really unique. Something also to be added with this brawl as well is that it is actually going to be you are actually going to be getting a Rise of Shadow pack as well with this brawl. So you will not be getting a normal classic pack. You actually get a Rise of Shadow pack to celebrate. So go check out that brawl. As always, it ends on Sunday, and get into the tavern, start playing. Next up, Dalaran Wing 4 has unlocked. Druid and Warrior heroes are now available. Squelchmish is a Kobold Druid, and Mr. Chu is a Pandaren Warrior. So the 4th wing of the Dalaran Heist adventure has unlocked. The last wing will unlock next week. This, as always, each of our new heroes have 3 hero powers. They both start with the basic one, and they can unlock more as always. The twist for this week's adventure is that all minions have their attack and health swapped. The Druid has 3 of them, and has the basic Druid one as always. It has Shapeshift as well. It has Life Bloom, restore a minion to full health, and Touch a Bark, give a minion +1/+1. The Warrior has obviously the basic one, gain 2 armor, and has Invigorating Brew, deal 1 damage to minion, give it 2 attack, and shuffle 2 explosives into your opponent's deck. The explosives, I believe, deal 3 to 4 damage when they are drawn. So it's a pretty cool brawl. If you, as always, get to and defeat the 5th boss, you will unlock 3 packs. For that brawl. It is 8 bosses. Like I said, the thing, the twist about this is attack and health are swapped. If you guys are coming here or listening to this on YouTube or on audio right now, one of the things that we do before we record this week in Hearthstone on Thursday nights is we do play Hearthstone for about an hour or two. What we've been doing beforehand, though, is we've just been kind of playing the solo adventure on our own, and we played for about 45 to 50 minutes beforehand, and we were able to one-shot the boss using a Jungle Giants deck using Druid. We were able to defeat all 8 bosses. We were able to do the same thing last week as well. We'll be doing that as well. So, you know, shameless plug, but twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo if you want to check that out for like the pre-podcast type of recording and stuff like that as well, if you want to see me actually play it and stuff like that. It was super fun. I love the Jungle Giants, right? You play the quest. I had the passive that made it so minions that cost 5 or more only cost 5, and then I got the passive that made it so that minions costs are halved, but you only can play 2. And then with the Jungle Giants and with the attack and health swapped, I was able to get the Jungle Giants out super fast, and then it just made everything super cheap, where I just had a ton of mana left to be able to utilize and not really have to worry about only playing 2 cards. I really liked it. We were obviously able to get the 3 packs and unlock it. Next week, the twist is that there'll be 12 bosses instead of 8. So 4 more bosses that you'll have to improve your deck on, which obviously means more treasures and stuff, and that will be harder. Next week, if you beat it, I believe you get 3 packs as well as a card back and a golden card pack. So we'll have to see how we do on that one. We were able to one-shot this one, as in go through one whole run blind, not watching any streams or anything like that. Just going in blind, thinking of what I would want to make the deck. We went in, beat it with this one and the last wing as well. I believe the first wing we did it, and then the second wing it took a couple tries. Either way, though, we were able to one-shot it pretty well. Maybe we probably won't do it next week, but it seems a bit hard to do. But we shall see. And that's on normal mode, of course. There's obviously the heroic modes, which give you bonuses. And I believe if you beat all of them on heroic, you also get another card back as well. So if you guys want to, go check out the wing like we've mentioned before. It is $20. You get the first wing for free. But if you want to play the other wings, it will cost you $20, which you will get about $20 worth of packs and cosmetics, etc. if you want them. On top of that, if you guys want to as well, you can just pay with gold. So next up, this is kind of something that we wanted to talk about for a while now. But for the first time ever in Hearthstone history, they are going to be doing some buffs and changing cards as well. And this is going to be coming on early June. It looks like it's looking like June 4th is going to be the day, because we're going to be talking about it for a little bit here. But it looks like we will finally have buffs in Hearthstone, and that's not a joke. There are actually going to be Hearthstone buffs. If you guys didn't know, in Hearthstone they usually nerf cards, but this time around they will actually be buffing some cards, as in improving some of their stats. So they announced that 18 cards will be buffed. They will be mechs from the Boomsday project. Each class gets 2 card buffs, so 2 times 9, because there's 9 classes, 18 cards will be buffed. So keep that in mind. Definitely check out the article, but we're not going to be going through like all of them or whatever, but it looks like a lot of the random cards are going to be buffed, usually, all mech related, by the way, as well, because they're calling this the Mech Invitational. I really like this. I think it's really, really cool, and it's really neat to see Hearthstone do something like this, where they're more proactive with nerfs, where they're nerfing cards, and then at the same time they are buffing cards. And it's such a random set to buff the Boomsday project. It would be really cool if, like, I don't know, next expansion they do this again, where they nerf cards, but then at the same time maybe they buff Witchwood cards or something like that. And the thing with this is that the cards will rotate out, because it is not in the evergreen set. So if the cards do seem to be problematic, don't worry, they will rotate out, and they're buffing a handful of cards. I really, really like this, and I applaud Hearthstone for doing something like this just to keep the meta fresh. We had the Hearthstone nerfs with Tempo Rogue, and that kind of shook things up. And so whatever like Hearthstone can do to continually shake up the meta is, I feel like, always a good thing. But some other announcements that we have, which is pretty exciting. Blizzard is actually adding a brand new legendary minion to the game. It will be considered part of Boomsday project as well, and everyone who logs into the game from June 3rd until July 1st will receive a golden version of the minion for free. It is a legendary minion, so you only need one. So basically, you just log in anytime within that month period, and you'll literally get the card for free, which I think is great. It is a 3-mana 2/3 mech called Snip Snap, or SN1P-SN4P, but Snip Snap. It has the card text that reads Mechanic, Echo, Death Rattle, summon 2/1/1 microbots. So this will be really interesting. It's a very cheap minion, a 3/2/3, so you can play this on its own if you really wanted to, if you needed something to play very quick. It's a 2/3, so it's going to have like okay stats for a 2/3. It's going to stick to the board maybe a little bit with the 3 health. If it dies, it does summon 2/1/1 microbots as well, which is great. But it has magnetic, so this can now be a 3/2/3 Death Rattle summon 2/1/1 microbots, which is really interesting. On top of that, though, it has Echo. And remember, Echo is that keyword where if you play it, and you still have mana left over, you can play another one. So this magnetic plus Echo, where you can just constantly keep buffing and doubling the attack of your minion, doubling the amount of microbots there that come out afterwards, etc., will be really, really interesting. Obviously, this minion is going to be part of Boomsday Project, so it will rotate out after Boomsday Project is, over and the rotation happens. On top of that, this minion will be neutral, so it will be played in a ton of decks as well. So remember, June 3rd until July 1st, log in, get that free golden version of this minion. I'm assuming that you'll be able to, after it rotates out or something like that, you'll be able to get a, craft a normal one. So June 3rd is Monday. We'll most likely remind you guys about it on Thursday. Also, coming out of that announcement as well, we have an arena set rotation, which will occur on June 3rd. This is the rotation. This rotation will include classic, basic, Goblins vs. Gnomes, Grand Tournament, One Night in Karzhan, Boomsday Project, and Rise of Shadows. So Goblins vs. Gnomes and Boomsday Project in the same arena draft. Remember that they talked about this too as well in Hearthstone. Now they will be rotating the sets in arena about twice every expansion. So there are kind of arena seasons now, which are really interesting as well, that you'll be able to adapt to. We won't go through all the card buffs, but once again, I would highly recommend that you go through and check out the article, which is on Hearthstone or whatever, to see which cards from certain classes are updated. Some of them I don't see being played. Some of them I'm like, oh, heck no, these are going to be played for sure or whatever. So go and check that out as well, and I highly recommend that. Something that is kind of came from the last article that we talked about, but I felt like needed its own introduction. This is actually the first article from Out of Cards that we're talking about, but the Mechanical Invitational is next week, June 4th. So remember with Hearthstone that a lot of things they're doing as well, which I totally agree on, is just having fun tournaments. Yes, you can call them esports tournaments or whatever, but they're mostly community-based tournaments. I really like it. They bring out notable streamers, or at least personalities that you may or may not recognize, mostly from Twitch right now, maybe YouTubers in the future or something as well. But they're going to actually be hosting a thing called the Mechanical Invitational next week on June 4th, so the day after these buffs are supposed to arrive, because that buff is going to be coming on June 3rd. So just kind of read the article. It says Blizzard is hosting a special mech-themed event next week featuring 16 of Hearthstone's greatest. The invited players will receive a set number of card packs and gold, alongside all the cards being updated in the upcoming buffs patch. Here's what's going down. 16 invited players are assembled into groups. All players will be opening their packs on stream the day before the event, June 3rd. By winning games in an invitational, they earn a point that can be spent later on the tournament for perks and on perks and one set of additional packs. Everything will be streamed live on the Play Hearthstone Twitch channel starting at 8 a.m. Pacific on June 4th. There is no information as of right now, and I don't know if we'll get that or not. I doubt it, but there's no information saying that this will be in online or in-person tournament. When we had the last tournament, it was at Blizzard headquarters. That was the one that was about the Dalaran heist. They did it on person, but in this one, it does not seem like it would be that way, because they have 4 regions for this tournament as well. So the players are called lackeys. There's 16 of them, and it looks like they are going to be in a duo set, because some of them have tweeted out, this is who my duo partner is going to be. So in North America, we have Disguised Toast, Bunny Fufu, X Chocobars, and Kriparian representing North America. Disguised Toast and X Chocobars tweeted out that they will be partnering together. So it looks like Bunny Fufu and Kriparian will be playing together in some form or fashion. Not really sure how it's going to work. South Korea, we have RHD, Sony, Dada, and Luxam. Russia, we have Silvermane, Shaitan, Plague, and Tomatoes. And then Europe, we have C4, Tars, Odemion. Sorry if I'm butchering these names, and then Tice as well. So, kind of a little bit more from a blue post that we got. It says that participants will be divided into teams of 2 players, and to prove their adaptness to Blastmaster Boom, they will initially craft decks using only the following: the updated cards from the latest Hearthstone 4.4 update, which is obviously the Mech Invitational patch that we're going to be getting. So that's the one where like the buffs are going to come, and Snip Snap is going to come as well. So all those cards that are going to be buffed and utilized as well, which is pretty cool. But they'll also use 20 classic card packs, 20 Witchwood card packs, 20 Boomsday card packs, 20 Rosticon Rumbles card packs, and 40 Rise of Shadow card packs, and they will get 5,000 gold. It says the Mechanical Invitational will feature competitors from North America playing live on set against teams from around the world. So it looks like the North Americans will be playing, I guess, live on set. I don't know what that means. I guess I'm assuming that what that sounds like is they will actually be at Blizzard headquarters, while maybe the other players are going to be playing via online and stuff. It says participants won't be able to earn gold through arena or from ranked play, wins, or daily quests. Teams who secure a victory will earn a point, which they can spend on perks later in the tournament and on set of additional packs, with the choices being 6 Rise of Shadows, 9 Witchwood, 9 Boomsday, 9 Rosticon. To ensure a fair fight, all competitors will be given the same additional variety of packs that the on-stream teams open after they win a match. Teams will be able to modify one deck between each game, and before the finals, earned points can be redeemed for the following perks: disenchant a card from either opponent's decks per point earned, which is huge. So basically, if you have 5 points, you can say, hey, we're forcing you to disenchant 5 cards. Your opponent has to replace it with a different card. Spend a point to open a set of packs of your choosing. Teams will choose from any set available. If a team has earned the maximum of 4 points, they can redeem them all too. Well, we'll just have to see. Overseeing the mayhem will be Bill Jump Carter, who as a host will make sure no cheating. Dan Frodan Chu and Michael Heatwave Lancaster will be on hand to provide commentary. Card packs will be opened on June 3rd on the participants player stream, and you can check this out on June 4th on either twitch.tv/play Hearthstone or youtube.com/play Hearthstone at 8 a.m. PST. So, and also on your favorite player's stream. So, Disguised Toast, X Chocobars, Kriparian, whoever you may be watching of the 16 players, etc., they will all be streaming on their channels as well. I think it looks really fun. It doesn't look like there's any prize money involved. It just looks like, a battle of pride, and it's just a mech invitational, and it's for fun. I really like this. I love this, to be honest. This looks like something that's super, super fun, and I hope that Hearthstone does more and more of this as well. Even though it's a friendly competition, people are going to be taking it a little bit more seriously. It reminds me of some type of like draft or something like that as well. Way to go, Hearthstone. This is a great, great idea. So go check this out. This is on Tuesday at 8 a.m. PST. Remember, the patch drops on June 3rd, though, in the morning as well. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of This Week in Hearthstone. As always, remember to check us out on Spotify and iTunes for all your audio goodness if you aren't already there. You can also check us out on YouTube. That's youtube.com/SHIGEOS Twitch TV. You can also check us out over on my personal Twitch, which we've mentioned earlier. I stream Hearthstone a little bit before, so Twitch, Twitter, or Instagram, you can follow me on those at Ryan Kubo, RyanKubo as well. And that is it, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will check out you guys next week. Take care.